Hello, you guys. How's everybody doing? How's everyone? I'm gonna let you all start getting the notifications. I came on a little earlier than I had scheduled, like 30 minutes earlier, but that's cool. I'm supposed to be at church, but I didn't make it this morning. The notifications are not being sent out because my phone's supposed to have gone off. It's almost a minute and my phone hasn't gone off. Hey, Miss Clarinetta. Hey, the Black Barbie. Unless people start getting the notifications. Hey, Miss Diane. Hey, Christian. Hey, Positive Vibes. Hey, Gary. They're not sending out notifications because my phone didn't go off. What's up, Chat Town? Is the crime bad in Chattanooga? We're going to talk about. We're going to talk about. Oh wow. We're going to talk about Memphis law enforcement has suited up and they've started Operation Code Zero because of all of the crime that's been going on in the Memphis area. Memphis is definitely in a state of emergency. Crime is off the Richter scale. Okay. Um, and something has to be done. Okay. So I want to talk about that because the spotlight is on Memphis. I think the spotlight has been on Memphis since really since Young Dolph was killed. Um, yeah. But I think that the crime has started to really spiral out of control. Okay. And it looks like, it's hard to get a handle on it at this point in time. Yeah, at this point in time, it's looking like that they're having a hard time trying to get it up under control. So we're gonna give some more people the opportunity to start coming in, okay? Um I don't know if it's YouTube, but like I said, my phone hasn't gone off. And normally when I come on, my notifications on my phone goes off. Hey, Miss Keita. Anyways, you guys, the sheriff's office, and I've always felt like the sheriff's office and the Memphis police should start back working together anyways, being metro, like they was one time before. Um, I think that helps to fight crime. When criminals feel like that there is no solution, no resolution, um, they kind of run amok. I can remember when there were a lot of burglaries happening in the Memphis area. Oh, it's been a lot of years ago. It's still happening, but I'm saying the news media was advertising it on the news. They was talking about the call volumes and how long it was taking Memphis Police Department and the Sheriff's Department to answer to make it to scenes because of the high call volumes. It was taking them about when alarms were activated, it was taking them about 20 to 25 minutes. And they was advertising that. And so the criminals, the burglars was watching that, right? So they was getting a lot of their tips from they was getting a lot of their tips on how long they needed to be inside of a residence from the news media. That's why it's a lot of things that you just cannot advertise, right? Or say, because people are always watching, especially the ones that are up to no good, right? And so now what they're doing is, because it's been so many situations. I shared on my Facebook page because I was looking at that. I just kind of been sitting back watching. Hold on one second, you guys. Oh my God. I saw such a beautiful girl on my Facebook page, and then I just had to do like a double take. I was like, God, who is that pretty girl? It came down my Facebook page and it just kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, she's so pretty, because that's my youngest daughter, right? So I did a double take. It just kind of blew my mind, right? I had to show her. That was on her prom night. But I was sharing on my Facebook page. Hold on one second, you guys. What it was talking about, it has been so many shootings just in 1 week. Um Hold on. I've always felt like that the National Guard should be brought in. For some reason, the black politicians don't want the National Guard brought in. Okay, um, because hold on, you guys. I think it's been 36 shootings. It's been 36 shootings in 1 week. I'm not out. It's something around that I was looking for it. It's been like 36 shootings in 1 week, and 15 people was actually killed, right? 15 people was actually killed. I want to say this, I know a lot of people want to lay it at the feet of Paul. Um, Paul the only thing that the mayor can do is hire more police officers. That's the only thing that the mayor can do. Paul inherited this problem. Okay, it started with AC Wharton. Okay, AC Wharton sold out the city of Memphis, and now he's gone back to being a lawyer. I think he's working at St. Jude somewhere as a lawyer, as their lawyer doing something. But he tore the city apart. He sold the city out. And then after that, Jim Strickland took over the city. He didn't do a damn thing. Jim Strickland never should have got 2 terms, just like AC Warden didn't get but 1 term. Jim Strickland never should have got 2 terms. I watched that situation. That's when my dad first started training me on politics. That was one of the situations that I started watching, just learning in the very beginning, just learning about politics, when my dad started teaching me about politicians and politics with Jim Strickland and with AC Warden. AC Warden, what a lot of people didn't know, see, Jim Strickland was the city council. A lot of people didn't pay attention to the fact when Jim Strickland started running for AC Warden's position that Jim Strickland was in the city council. He approved and backed everything that AC Warden wanted, right? So they were two of the same. Nobody knew that Jim Strickland, when he was running for office, was his advisor. He had advised AC Warden. They're both lawyers. And so nobody knew that Jim Strickland was the one that was holding AC Warden's campaign fundraisers at his home. Be quiet, hell. Was holding them at his home. Nobody knew that. So when he ran for office and he was talking about how AC Warden was such a bad mayor, even though at the city council, everything bad that AC Warden started doing because he was bought and paid for, Jim Strickland backed it. We didn't pay attention to that. Memphis is a chocolate city, so they have to pander and cater to the Black people in order to be elected. Okay? So what happened was Jim Strickland got him some good Black Negro pastors and a bunch of good Black and went out in the Black neighborhoods. Okay? Jim Strickland is overweight. So he went out there in the Black neighborhoods and started playing basketball. Roscoe, close your damn mouth up. Hell, every time I get on here, you start. Shut up. He went out in the Black neighborhoods, okay, and started playing basketball with the Black children. We know damn well Jim Strickland can't run up and down a damn court. It was for promo. Okay? So Black people ate that up. He got that kill Black kids. They're gonna get enough of letting anybody kiss their damn kids. Okay. Black people gotta take responsibility in this city for what is going on. Now they want to throw everything on Paul back. Paul inherited this when they let the white man get away with everything. So now Paul has to try and fix this mess. He ain't been in there but about a good 2 years, maybe. He ain't doing nothing. Yeah, they weren't saying nothing when Jim Strickland was running up and down the basketball court. Now, let me just say this. Jim Strickland making a fool out of Black folks. Now, let me just say this. Jim Strickland did some things in the Black community now that you couldn't get a Black person, the Black mayor, to do. It's a damn shame. My dad was true about that. Some of these white politicians will give the Black community more than a Black politician. Now, I told y'all when Paul was elected, I said, Paul and them are good people. I said when I went to their church, okay? And it's funny because they invited me to their church last Sunday and I went. I should have got up and went this Sunday. I was tired. Paul's family has always believed in helping the community to get jobs. Paul, Dorcas, all of them have always had key positions. Their family has always believed in helping to help the community to get jobs. They was doing that all of 11, 12 years ago. Okay? I said, when Paul get into office now, it's going to be a lot of jobs available because that's just something that they believe in. These Negroes don't want to work. It's positions open. I can't get no job. You don't get me started. Okay? They wants to go up into Amazon and get the fighting. It ain't even safe to work in Amazon no damn more because they up in there fighting and shooting and killing folks. Okay? So now they want to throw everything on Paul Young's back when the resources are plentiful. Paul Young is very personable. He's a young mayor, and people want to blame him. It's his fault my son out here killing people's. How is it his damn fault? It's your fault. You didn't raise him right. See, we don't want to get to the nitty gritty, okay? The truth of the matter is these kids out here committing crimes because somebody in their household done failed them. We don't want to talk about that. Well, the blacks have been through a lot. Yeah, the blacks have been through a lot. Our ancestors went through a lot. These damn fools that's out here committing these crimes ain't been through shit. They spoiled. They mamas have ruined them. You know why she ruined them? Because she wanted to prove, even though she was a project girl, that her son could have the most updated shoes and he was never worth a damn. He deserved to go to school bare feet because he ain't never been worth a damn. She spoiled him rotten. The little girls messy because they listening to their damn mamas. Keep shit going, okay? And they chose the wrong damn men. You can't expect for a damn fool who ain't never been worth a damn himself to be a father. He wasn't nothing. He never was. We got to take responsibility. And then they get mad at me because I get on here hollering and screaming and saying, black people got to take responsibility. It's the only way that our community going to get cleaned up is we start taking responsibility. Paul, it's his fault. I get pregnant. You was out there, got in the back of a damn Hyundai and got your ass pregnant. Paul didn't do that. Okay? So we got to start taking responsibility and holding people accountable in our community. We like for people to pander to us and stroke our ego and be robbing us blind. That's a good man, okay? And I'm not saying that because I'm telling you, Paul is a good guy. You're not going to hear me say nothing bad about him because I know he's resourceful. All you got to do is want it and try to figure out how to get it. Well, I want you to give it to me. I want it. I'm going to figure out how to get to it. And when you figure out how to get to it, I'm telling you now, Paul Young is that man that's going to help you to get it. All you got to do is map out a damn plan. Okay? So we got to start cleaning up our own community. Now, law enforcement is get ready to be on your kids' asses. They already telling we don't get the parent community together so we can stop these police. They want Junebug to be able to be out there robbing and killing folks in peace. Y'all, it's something wrong with our damn community. And don't nobody want to hear me talk about it. I'm in the black community. I have a passionate love for my community. So it's best that I say it. You know, I've had people talk about how I hate black men. I love black men. I know we need them, the good ones. Okay, so it don't even bother me when they say that kiss my ass because I know it's a lie. I'm a damn black woman, so I don't hate black women. I see the issue. I understand as a black woman, as women are very territorial by nature anyways. But it's a dangerous thing to be territorial and jealous. And that's what is going on. You can't even take care of your own household. Let's just take on here as an example, okay? You got bitches on here that's hiring hackers to mess with other folks' numbers. It's something wrong with our community. And these folks old as Methuselah. Okay? Excuse me for saying that, God. It's a Sunday for saying the B word. That's the only thing I could think of. Okay? So we need to deal with what is going on in our community. mental illness is prevalent. I know in our era, we was taught that we don't go to get no help. Whatever is going on in your household, you keep it in your household and you deal with it. But some of you need to go to the next state. If you're in Texas, go get you a damn shrink in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is the neighboring state. Okay, go get you a shrink in the damn backwoods and get your damn self some help. If you're in the Memphis area, you don't want nobody to know that you got mental illness, get you a shrink in Arkansas in the backwoods. Some of y'all need to be sitting on somebody's damn couch. Your mind is idle. You sick. All you can do is think about it, and they wonder why these kids like they are. Look at what's raising them. Okay? You are never, and my kids can attest to this. Okay? I've never in my life sit up and said to my kids, yeah, such and such, she thinks she gonna get that. My mama, I want to do is go get it. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, go get it. Even when I've told my kids that so much, my youngest daughter, who is a quiet assassin, I remember I told her, I said, Brailsy, I call her Brailsy. I said, Brailsy, you in high school, do not go and get no job. She said, Mama, I want a job. I said, do not do it. I don't want you to have a job right now. The next thing I know, she was working at a chicken house. She told me, she said, Mama, they're hiring at a grocery store. She was still in high school. I said, no, do not do it. She said, well, I'm going to. So she said, I'm not going to do it then. My sister, they went over my word. My sister who thinks she their mama, okay? My sister took her to this grocery store was hiring. She took her the line. My sister said the line was around the damn building. I said, all they got is 2 positions open. The line was around the building. And I remember she called me and she real slick, like her daddy. Okay. And so she said, Mama, when you was the HR manager, what when you interview people? And she did it real slick. And I said, well, when we love it when people said, at the end of the interview, I look forward to starting my new job, when they was confident, as they knew they had the job. What do you expect of me? Say it with a lot of enthusiastic. She took her ass out there, and it wasn't but 2 positions, and got the position, made a damn fool out of me to tell her how to get it. And I had told her not to go and apply for it, and she got the position. Okay. 4 months later, she said, Mama, they trying to they want to make me the assistant manager of the store. I said, don't do it. You get ready to graduate. She took that damn job. Okay. Just didn't mind nothing I said. Okay. And had me ready to go up there and whoop the store manager's ass because she saw a young girl that was enthusiastic. And she wanted to, she never would tell me who the store manager was, because I already got one of my daughters fired for going up there on the manager. I was up my way up there on that one. Okay. But my point was, I always told my daughters, okay, you can do anything you want to do. And so when I was telling her don't do it, she already knew that she could do it. And she did it. And she just kept, and when she got sick of that job, she kept saying, no, Mama, don't say nothing to the manager. She would come home crying sometimes because she's real quiet and good-hearted. Next thing I know, my baby had her a job with the government, okay, and getting ready to be promoted again. And she didn't use me to get it, okay, because I always instilled that on the inside of them. They didn't worry about other people or the odds that was against them. They weren't trying to trip up other people or throw daggers at other people. That's the problem within our community. A lot of these damn mamas, because a lot of these kids are being raised by single mothers. Now, single mothers can do, a lot of single mothers do the best they can, and they raise good men without fathers, okay? But a lot of these single mothers are setting bad examples, okay? And a lot of these fathers are too, because they are not doing what they're supposed to. I think it's a damn shame when I hear a man sit up and talk about he ain't in his son's or his daughter's life because the mama ain't humble. You was a damn good for nothing so and so, okay? Because nothing should be able to keep you away from your damn kids, okay? So that has to be cleaned up in our community, and that's a lot of what's going on. But I want to talk about this operation. Hold on, you guys. That they got going on, that they get ready to stop y'all kids, and folks is already pissing them on it. Junebug ain't gonna be able. They're gonna be trying to take Junebug to jail. They're gonna be beating up Junebug because he killing people. They want their kids to be able to commit crimes in peace. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm trying to pull it up. It's Operation. Okay, so now they got Operation 360. Okay, now this is one operation they got going on. This is what the sheriff's office got going on. Hold on one second.
These cases will keep you up at night.
Some cases are too mind-boggling.
I walked into the scene. I had never seen anything like that.
Too chilling, too haunting to forget.
This is just one that has stuck with me.
The cases investigators never solved and still can't stop thinking about.
That's Sam right there.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Buckner. I serve as the Chief Deputy of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. So from time to time, the question comes in.
Yeah, this Anthony right there. If you're in Memphis and Shelby County, vote for him.
What can the Sheriff's Office do to help inside of the city limits of Memphis? And I think today's partnership shows our concerted effort and our interest in locking arms with our partners, with the Memphis Police Department, as well as the Tennessee Highway Patrol, to add a safer or create a safer roadway for the citizens of Memphis and Shelby County. And so we're dedicating 16 deputies for about 16 to 17 hours a day over the next couple of days to help patrol the 240 loop and 385. And so we have heard the complaints from citizens in Memphis. We've heard the complaints from citizens in unincorporated Shelby County regarding reckless and dangerous driving. And so we just want to make sure that we are locking arms together with our law enforcement partners to add a sense of comfort, to make sure that the citizens understand that, yes, we do hear you. But that's our part. But here's the part that we invite our citizens. Do not participate in road rage. We understand that when drivers cut you off or someone cuts you off, it can be a frustrating moment. We understand the temptation of blowing your horn. We also understand the temptation of cutting someone else off. But what we do know is that it leads to violence. It leads to chaos on the roadway. And so we want to do our part. We're going to patrol the interstate system to make sure we provide the safest roadway that we possibly can. But we also want the citizens, we also want motorists to partner with us and not display aggressive driving or display road rage. So I thank my partners. I thank my friends at the Tennessee Highway Patrol, as well as the Memphis Police Department. This wasn't a very long meeting. When the conversation came up about doing this operation, it didn't take all day. It didn't take a month to put together. All of us said the same thing. Yes, we'll participate. And so the Sheriff's Office not only will participate in this operation or this initiative, but other initiatives as well. This operation doesn't have necessarily a sexy name, if you will, but it's the interest in which we come together today to really create the safest roadway that we.
Okay, so they're gonna be on the expressway, I guess, to stop. These fools that's been on the expressway, they jumps out and stop the cars and have their weapons in their hands and start doing donuts and stuff. They're going 100 and something in stolen cars on the expressway. Okay, hold on one second, you guys. I want to show y'all something. Hold on. I guess they cut the video down. Because hold on one second. It's Operation 360, and they did do a okay, so I guess they cut the video down because it was like 19 minutes. But anyways, they're going to be on the expressway. Okay, they're going to be on the expressway because of all of the stuff that has been happening, and not only that, MPD has started Code Zero. Okay, and I guess Code Zero is going to be something like something similar to Blue Crush. Hold on, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me.
Memphis, Tennessee. The Memphis Police Department has had enough with crime in the city's neighborhoods. According to a post on their Facebook page, MPD is initiating Operation Code Zero to focus on illegal guns, drugs, and violent offenders throughout the Bluff City. Enough is enough, MPD said. Operation Code Zero is underway, and we're taking action to restore safety in our communities. The department recently unveiled a new downtown command center and included photos of armored vehicles rolling down the street. If you break the law, expect to be held responsible, MPD said. Memphis deserves safe neighborhoods, and we're working hard to make that a reality.
So they done went and got some armored trucks, okay? But it looks like the TAC unit, the TAC SWAT unit is probably, they put them out there on the street more so. Hold on, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. I want y'all to hear what the mayor has to say.
Memphis, Tennessee. The topic bringing business owners, a lawmaker, and city leaders together at the Raleigh Library quickly turned to the rise in gun violence over the last week. Police Chief C.J. Davis said her department has investigated 28 homicides already in April, with 5 days left to go in the month.
Sponsor message, then we're back.
Live, breathe, fight. It's the Live, Breathe, Fight Tour featuring Tamala Mann, David Mann, Erica Campbell.
Okay, I don't know what happened with that. It says she and Paul Young both talked about the role children having in all of this, as well as what parents can do to keep their children out of the line of fire. Mayor Young quickly addressed the deadly events in the city this week. As I think about the last couple of weeks, we've seen far too much violence in our city. It's been completely unacceptable, heartbreaking to see young people losing their lives. So they've had 28 murders in the month of April. Okay, a lot of those murders, the majority of them about underage kids. So y'all trying to tell me that that's the mayor's fault? I think some of these parents are going to have to be held accountable, because if you have minors that are out there killing, people, committing these crimes, then you need to be held accountable. Why don't you know where your child is if your child is a minor? Okay. So, people are going to be in an uproar about all of this, because folks claim that they want the streets and stuff to be cleaned up until it's Junebug and Lil Ray Ray okay, that they start arresting and taking to jail, right? They want the streets cleaned up. They just don't want their sons and their daughters and their nieces and their nephews and their little cousins and stuff to be arrested. The game changed then. The police become the problem when they start arresting their relatives that are committing these darn crimes, right? I was looking at that a man was hit and killed for running from the police this morning on the expressway. He jumped out running. I'm trying to find it. Y'all, this is the craziness that is going on in Memphis. This is what I'm talking about. Now, why would he jump out running from the police in the midst of traffic? Okay. Hold on, let me find it. Okay, a man was struck while running from the police. He may not have been killed. Hold on, let me see. But y'all, this is the type of stuff that's going on.
Tonight at 10, we're learning more about a deadly crash that happened near I-240 West and I-55 South, forcing part of the interstate to be closed for hours. Thanks for being with us. I'm Shay Arthur. Memphis police say a man was hit and killed by a car while he was trying to evade a traffic stop. WREG's Raven Copeland brings us reaction to the incident.
Saturday afternoon, Memphis police attempted a traffic stop near I-240 West and I-55 South. When they tried to pull over the driver, they say a man got out of the car and ran. Moments later, investigators tell WREG the man was hit and killed by a driver in a 2018 Chevrolet Malibu.
If you're going to do the crime, you got to do the time and stop running from your destiny, because at the end of the day, it sounded like the person was guilty. I'm sorry to the family, but it sounded like the person was guilty and they was running from what they had to deal with. They was running from their problems.
Memphis police have not identified the man and have not told us why he ran from police on a busy interstate. Courtney Rounds, a Fraser resident, tells WREG it's important for the community to respect authorities.
But I mean, if you've been watching the news, the police department said they're cracking down. So you just have to be careful out here. That's what I say.
This month alone, Memphis police responded to 28 homicides in 25 days. The deadly gun violence has resulted in an increased police presence in Operation Code Zero, a law enforcement initiative that aims to combat violent crime.
Everybody just needs to crack down on their kids and then let the police do their jobs and don't be crying and whining when it's time to face those charges, I guess.
Rounds tells WREG poverty and a lack of guidance for the youth are playing a role in Memphis crime. However, the community must come together to fix these issues or the cycle will continue. Reporting for your...
Okay, so I'm sure they'll find a way to blame the police. They had to pull him over. See, this is when I say we're not taking responsibility, and rest in peace. You know, I hate that happened. I hate that for the family, and I hate that for the person. But why would you jump out of a car? The car was probably stolen. Even if the car wasn't stolen, it still wasn't the police's fault. The police have a responsibility when they're pulling you over. Evidently, that was some type of violation. Even if it wasn't some type of violation, hell, they was pulling him over for a reason. Maybe he was speeding. You stop. Okay, you stop and you see what's going on. Instead, you pull over and you jump out in the midst of traffic running on I-240. Nobody in their right mind would do that, y'all. On I-240, hell, I'd be scared to drive on I-240, all them damn lanes. His was on the expressway. Okay. But like I said, I'm sure they'll find a way to blame the police for that. And so we got to stop blaming the police for doing their jobs. We blame them when they break laws, like what they did to Tyree Nickel. Yeah, we blame them for that because what they did to him was so we stand together on that. We can't stand together on nothing like this, you get pulled over instead of facing whatever the consequences may have been. You jump out and you start running. That ain't the police fault. But I hate that though. Okay. I hate that. I'm looking at all the crimes that have happened overnight, y'all. It's crazy. It's so much happening in Memphis that you can't even hardly keep up with everything that is going on. Okay.
Investigators never solved and still can't stop thinking about.
Another investigation on the interstate to tell you about tonight. A man is now hospitalized after being shot at I-240 in Walnut Grove. Details about what happened are limited at this time, but here's what Memphis police are telling us. That shooting was reported around 12:30 this afternoon. Officers found a shooting victim at I-240 in Walnut Grove. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. A man has been detained.
These cases.
So you guys, like I said, I feel like that this what's going on now, it was long overdue. I hope that it's not just a phase, just a fad, whereas they do this for all of 30 days and then it's back to business as usual. And another thing that's going to happen is the drugs that are being put on the street, they're going to have to start combating that too. Because a lot of these people are out of their mind on drugs, right? The type of drugs now that are in the streets. People are trying it. I never understood for the life of me why people try drugs. Okay. I don't. We already know what drugs will do to you if you try them. And we have more and more people that are trying drugs. Young adults, I don't know if they're being taught, because you don't hear people talking about being proactive anymore as it relates to drugs. We just talk. We hear people talking about being reactive because the money is in the reaction, right? You get on the drugs, and then the money is in giving them these medications, trying to send them to the rehabs, which is 90% failure. We got to be damn honest about that shit. Okay. You get on drugs, it's hard to get off of drugs, and they know that. So they go to the rehab. They're gonna leave the rehab about 10 or 15 times before they make up their mind that they sick and tired of being sick and tired if it don't kill them. Ain't nobody telling the damn truth no more, because everybody, to include people who claim that they're in it to help the community, they in it for a damn dollar. Because if they really want to help the community, the money should be put in being proactive, which means don't take your ass and smoke nothing. How about that? But ain't nobody talking about that because it ain't no money in that. They want you to get strung out. Okay? True Aquarius says they said it's been 28 murders in 25 days in Memphis. Yes, it's absolute insanity. So ain't nobody telling nobody not to. Well, if you get on drugs, there's always a rehab. Ain't nobody talking about, they're not talking about the H to the I to the V no more. The only thing you hear them talking about, because the pharmaceutical companies have bought out everybody, is once you get the H to the I to the V, you can live longer. They ain't trying to do nothing to prevent it. Okay, who wants to live a life like that? I'm not talking about nobody that is, but if we can help to prevent it, the money should be in the prevention. Okay? But instead, more of the money is in the reaction, meaning after you go and you subject yourself to these things, then we put some things in place where you can come and you can get, the government to pay us this, and that to help to try to get you right again. When the truth of the matter is, these drugs now is frying their brain. They're never right again. Their brain is flat out scrambled eggs. Okay. So you go and you get on meth, you get on fentanyl, you get on all of that. I mean, you never really right again. Whereas if we need to start teaching about not going and getting on this stuff, right? Instead, people are so twisted now. I sit on here and I talk about don't go get on drugs. They saying that she being judgmental. She that being judgmental. Keep your ass off of drugs. Hell, it's the problem is people in our communities have codependent personalities. I've been saying is Black people have codependent personality. Okay. That codependent on every single thing, codependent on somebody else's story. I be liking to hear somebody else's redemption story because it helped me. Codependent on a lot of people go to church because they want to hear about somebody's damn testimony. They codependent on somebody's testimony, and it's okay to be inspired, but more people in our community are codependent. Okay, instead of being independent. And you can't be independent on drugs. You just can't be. And so I think that's what they do with our community. They want to keep us codependent. That's why somebody have a good story. Oh, hey, you know what? That's a good thing. That's an inspiration. Everybody go through something. I might want to talk about something sometimes. Okay, I want to talk about it to somebody that I trust. Well, she just inspired me because I went through the same thing. She got through it. I can get through it. But I ain't going to every damn conference because I'm codependent on somebody's damn testimony of how they came out of what I choose to go through for 10 or 15 damn years instead of trying to come out of it. Codependent on, hey, everybody needs a hand up. I ain't mad at nobody that get food stamps and welfare. It does not mean that they are a failure. It just means that they need help. But why are we codependent on it? It's not supposed to be a lifestyle. You shouldn't want your kids to see you from the time of birth all the way up until they 18 years old waiting on some damn welfare and food stamps. That's almost like learned behavior for them. They think it's okay. Okay? I agree with you, the smallest podcast. They are enabling and programming mental illness into us all. Absolutely. It's a programming. So when somebody like me get on, she ain't got it all together, show down. I wish I could get some food stamps high as groceries is. But I have to come out of my pocket. Okay? Everybody needs some help. You're not a failure. But all of this stuff, let's just be honest, all of these things that they have made available to these young women and men, okay, because a lot of these men on food stamps, ain't a damn thing wrong with them, but don't want to get up and work. They want to, they want to lay in bed and look at the soap operas with their thumb in their mouth and their thumb and the other thumb up their damn asshole. That is the truth. Okay? So, all of this stuff that's available, why not use it as a hand up? Okay, so they're paying for child care. Hell, they pay for them to go to college. They have grants for these girls if they want to continue their education while they are on government assistance. You can go to college. Well, you know, I had win and I had got yeah, see, we got to stop wanting to be the bare minimum, y'all. Well, I'm not talking about nobody because we all need some help. Hell, I be struggling. All them damn overheads I got. But listen, well, you know, I went and I had, I'm a CNA now. And that's a good thing. If you didn't have a job and you went and you got your certification and you are a CNA. But if the government gonna be paying for it, why don't you go be a RN? The government paying for it anyways. Stop accepting the bare minimum. So now you are seeing that you might be still struggling unless you use your mind to open up some type of business where you're sitting with old people. And I think that's what they have programmed us to do, you guys, is to accept the bare minimum. Well, you go from getting welfare to getting a little certification that they paid for you to get. You should be proud of yourself, but you're still struggling. Go and get the most. You're going to have to work harder. Your ass is going to have to turn some stuff away in order to get what you want. But go through it and get the most out of it. You ain't got to hustle. You ain't got to be sleeping around with nobody. You ain't got to be trying to shice nobody. Go get your stuff. But ain't nobody teaching our community that. I'm not happy with the bare minimum. I want the most out of everything. Okay? My dad taught me that. That's what they taught the slaves. I don't have a slave mentality. Okay? My dad said when he used to be in meetings with a lot of these rich white power brokers, he said they used to say, you know, the thing with African Americans are they don't ask for what they want. If they need a $15,000 loan, they'll say, well, you know, I don't want to be greedy. If you can just give me 8 of it instead of asking for the whole damn 15, that's what you need to get your shit off the ground. Because we've been taught as slaves, well, you know, we shouldn't ask for too much. I want everything. Okay, I ain't taking nothing from nobody else. I'm willing to work for it, and I want the full thing. That's what people want. That's what they bet on. Well, you know, except for when it comes to us, we want to take everything from each other. Use your full potential to get all of those things. Hey, Memphis native, that you need to be able to survive. Not take nothing from nobody, not get it off the back of nobody. Because I'm telling you now, you're building a damn sand castle. We have a habit of sitting up laughing and giggling when we think we done got over on somebody. Your ass ain't got over. You just created bad karma. Use your full potential to get everything you need. Okay. And you got it on your own by getting your own contacts, garnering your own relationships. Okay. And you got it the right way. So you built a firm foundation. But we don't teach that. So you just got off of welfare and food stamps and you went and got a certification and you still struggling? No, it's there for you. You want the bare minimum. You're going to have to work harder to get more. So I'm going from welfare and food stamps to being a damn registered nurse. I know I'm going to be able to take care of my family now. I'm going to have me a damn new house and it ain't no Section 8. I'll gladly give up this Section 8 house. And if I like it, I'm making enough now to ask the owner to sell it to me. We ain't got that type of mindset. Well, you know, I just want to be able to, Trump gonna take my food stamps. That's what we be worried about. We don't like talking about that. That's all we be worried about. Paul Young, the reason my son out there killing. He won't put the police to stop him. Or he the reason that somebody else's son killed my son. Hell, your 15-year-old son was out at 2:00 in the morning when he got killed. You the reason that he was killed. Don't nobody want to take responsibility for their own issues. Okay? when I was getting them grants last year, and I'm getting ready to get them again this year. They asked me how much you want. I said, what's the limit? 15,000. I said, well, then I want 15,000. Did you think I was gonna ask for something less? But that's what we do. And then once we get it, we don't do right. You got to get it and then do what you said you was gonna do. Get it and do right. I think about them PPP loans. So many black people. I remember I was sitting up in the bonding company when them PPP loans were being distributed. I didn't even know what a PPP loan was at that time. That's when COVID had first hit. And I remember one of the girls, she was up there. She had just bonded out. She had just bonded out, and she was mad because she had to come back up there and sign her bond, and then she was waiting for a ride. And she was just sitting there. I mean, she was going in. She said, that's all right. I can't wait till I get my PPP loan so I can go buy me a car. Now, anybody else, because this is the mentality of our people. I'm not saying that it's right, but you get a PPP loan and they went and got their asses done and they still whopped. Okay? They went and got new teeth put in their head and they still too big to close their mouth. They went and got cars that was nothing but lemons that they can't even start up today. But they didn't take that money and at least try and go start a real business to make some money. So when it came back on their no good asses, they could say, well, look here, I can go ahead and pay it back, because they give you an opportunity to pay stuff back. They know you can't pay it back. You didn't try to put yourself in a position to be able to pay it back. You saw folks sharing lobsters and steak and stuff. Restaurants went out of business because they was up in that, they done ate all the damn, they couldn't catch enough shrimp and lobster and stuff to keep into the restaurant. They never had a damn steak before in their life, and they sharing it all on Facebook. Okay, you could tell when somebody ain't used to nothing. Okay. My dad used to say, if you ain't used to something, you better act like you is. You could tell when they ain't used to nothing. They sharing it all on Facebook, they steaks and stuff. Who shares a steak? Okay. On Facebook. That means you ain't used to it. Who gives a damn about a steak? They was going all on vacation, all in Florida, okay? Taking trips, had never been on a damn airplane before in their life with the PPP money. Instead of trying to put themselves in a position that when it came back on them, they could just pay the money back, okay? This is what happens in our community. And somebody's sitting their asses in the damn bushes now saying she talking about blacks, but white peoples is doing too. And that's another thing. Black people get on my nerve. I worked for the police department for so long. I've been in law enforcement for 25 years. And one thing that has never changed is when black people do stuff, the first thing they say, you hear black mamas say it all the time, black families. Junebug went in there, he killed and raped all them people, and they want to get him life, but a white person do it, they didn't get him life. They feel like anything heinous is okay as long as a white person do it first. Well, the white people has been messing with little girls, so that make it right. It's something wrong with our community, and don't nobody want to talk about it. When I see people like that, when I go, well, you know, this person, he was messing with a little girl, he 50, and he messing with a 14-year-old. But you know, her brother married a white woman, and she was 14. I say, that's a damn freak. You's a freak of nature, you's a pedo, and you sick. There's something wrong with our community. You can tell a lot by a person. All you got to do is have a conversation with them. So ain't nothing gonna change in our community until we change it. Paul Young ain't our problem. Paul Young got so many resources down there to help the Black community. It's ridiculous. But guess what? Don't nobody want to put no plans together so that they can use the resources in the right way. Everybody wants something given to them. Man, they know they can get it to me, man, they know they can get it to me. So that's why when they talk about the plight of the Blacks, these damn fools now ain't been through shit. The only issue is they used to everything being given to them. Okay? I don't like for nobody to give me nothing, because if they don't give it to me, they can't take it. Anything that somebody gives you, they can take back if you earn it. Okay? They can't really take it. So Memphis law enforcement officers have suited up in Operation Code Zero, and I hope that they continue this Code Zero so they can get a lot of these damn fools off of the street, okay? And so it ain't no need, and none of these parents screaming and crying, talking about Junebug going away for life, when they got the opportunity to stop Junebug right now, okay? So it ain't Paul Young's fault that these damn minors are out there killing people. It's their parents' fault, okay? Reginald says, I will never forget the day when my door was knocked on and someone told me my son was laying in the street. He had been shot and killed. You won't know. Oh my God. I'm sorry to hear that, Reginald. Oh God. How old was he? How old was your son, Reginald? Yeah, let me see how many likes we have. Y'all hit the like button for me. Run the likes up, you guys. Okay. Y'all hold on 1 second. Y'all, this just happened. This is from the other day.
He was a child. It hurt my heart even more, because why are you doing that?
So this is the security guard and the young man I was talking about the other day that got into a shootout over there in North Memphis and Frazier, and he walked up to her and tried to rob her, and they got into a shootout in the parking lot. This is the security guard.
I thought he was grown. When they came back and told me he was a child, it hurt my heart even more, because why are you doing that? A child.
New at 10, we're hearing from the woman who police say had a shootout with a 16-year-old at a shopping center in Frazier this week, as police say the teenager tried to rob the victim. Now, the victim telling me she actually gave that teenager money before he shot her. Tonight, while she's now in pain after suffering 2 gunshot wounds, she's also hurt by the fact another young person has been caught up in violence. Speaking to me from a hospital bed, Lamaya Mason, who asked us not to show her face, shares her story.
Like, I would literally do anything for anyone that I could, and that's why it hurts so bad.
Physically, she's hurt too. She was shot twice around 7 Tuesday night at the Frazier Village Shopping Center.
They did take me directly into surgery.
Shot once in the stomach.
And it's lodged into my right pelvis right now. And it was one bullet that went through my hand.
Surveillance video we obtained shows this shooting. You can see a 16-year-old boy approach Mason as she was leaving a Chinese food restaurant, put his arm out. Police say that's when the shooting started, as Mason, who is a security guard, ran to take cover and shoot back. The teen took off running. He was arrested 2 days later.
I just felt somebody come behind me with up behind me and was like, "Give me everything. I know you got it." And I turned around like, "Ho, no, hold on." I didn't even get a chance to give him a key. I didn't have a chance to give him any food. I didn't have a chance to give him anything. He just started shooting.
But Mason, who was on her lunch break at the time, says she actually encountered the suspect a short time before when she was on the other side of the shopping center putting gas in her car.
And when he approached me, he asked me for money to get him something to eat. I told him that I don't carry cash on me. He came back again and he asked me, "Hey, what about the change in the car?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I got that. I can give that to you." So I gave him all the little change I had in the car.
She had no idea he followed her across the parking lot. And as this surveillance video shows, seems to be waiting for her as she picked up dinner.
It's very traumatic and traumatizing because you imagine just being a normal individual, doing your normal everyday activities, and all of a sudden, somebody just come and shoot you out of nowhere.
The 16-year-old is now looking at a list of charges, including attempted murder and carjacking. Mason was shocked to learn he was a teenager, and tonight has a message.
That hurt my heart a little more because our children are our future. And if this is what our children is doing, then what future will we have?
An important question she's asking tonight. And Mason also thanked first responders and everyone there at the shopping center who helped her in the moments after the shooting. She doesn't know how long she will be hospitalized, but could be out of work for up to 2 months. If you would like to help her with expenses, we've included a link on our website. Just click on this story.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. He probably got mad at her because all she had was a few nickels and dimes. This B got me effed up, gonna give me this little bit of change, and he followed her across the parking lot. They said he knew that she was the security guard in the those apartments in Fraser. I forget the name of them, but that's sad. That's sad, y'all. And he might have been mad at her about something else. Who's to say that she didn't put them out of those apartments or something went on in those apartments and she does security over there in those apartments and somebody sent him to do something to her. Yeah, he was looking to tell. It seems like to me that he was doing. He wanted to do something to her. She was a security. What's those apartments that what's his name? Lil Migo artist Trey Slimes and them being all the time over there that they stay shooting up folks in. She said so that little MF was looking into her car to know that she had changed. I think he was gonna do something to her anyway. I think he probably was mad about because they say he frequent those apartments, and he knew that they believe that he knew that she was security over there. Ridge Crest. She's the security over in Ridge Crest because he asked her for the change that's in her car. He's trying to get her to engage with him. If she had not given him that change, he probably would have shot her right then and there. Seemed like to me he was looking for a reason to shoot her. Because why would he follow her after she get him the change? He followed her across the parking lot and then wait for her to come out and then try and rob her. Okay. It means zero tolerance. So it's just something weird about that. Because we know now a lot of these young dudes, they so emotionally messed up. They feel like when they get mad at you, they're supposed to shoot you. Hold on, you all. It says a man was critically wounded after a shooting overnight in Northeast Memphis, police said. At midnight, okay, it says at midnight, officers responded to a shooting that occurred at a residence in the 7100 block of Tulip Trail Drive. Officers arrived and immediately started to render aid to a man who was on the ground in front of the residence. They located the victim's gunshot wound but did not find an exit wound. They proceeded to apply pressure to the wound and immediately requested an ambulance. They tried to get the name of the victim, but he was in too much pain to provide. He was taken to Regional 1 in critical condition. Officers canvassed the neighborhood and were told by multiple neighbors that they always hear shootings. So in this incident, it was no different. However, one witness told them that a party was going on at the residence at around 12:45 a.m. and she heard one gunshot and the music stopped. So they just uploaded that about 4 minutes ago. Okay, so yeah. Hold on, you all. And now it seemed now I don't think they arrested people without probable cause. It seemed like to me they ain't arresting enough people. They need to arrest more than what they've been arrested. Maybe they'll stop a lot of these damn fools. Okay, so it says that MPD tries to reassure public amid surge in violent crimes. The Memphis police is trying to reassure residents that officers are patrolling the streets and protecting the public following a violent week and following a violent week and month in the city. Friday night, MPD posted several pictures of officers on their Facebook page with the caption, "Our officers are suited up, briefed, and ready to get to work. We're out in the community with one goal in mind, keeping Memphis safe." The police department said it was part of the city's Operation Code Zero and its commitment to proactive policing and building trust with the people they serve. MPD also shared pictures of officers at work making arrests and said Operation Code Zero was in full effect. Officers are on the lookout for the violent offenders causing chaos in our neighborhoods with illegal guns and drugs. If you see something, say something. Together we all build a stronger, safer Memphis community, said MPD. According to MPD, Operation Code Zero is designed to take on criminals one neighborhood at a time. Okay. If you don't break the law, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Okay. If you break the law, your ass gonna ride. That's all I know. Okay. Y'all hit the like button for me. Like, share, and subscribe. So that's the fugitive unit that arrested him. So he had a it's the Greenbrier, Elise. The Greenbrier. Y'all hit the like button for me, please. Like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, it's just too much going on in Memphis. It is. It's too much going on. Yeah, hold on. Hold on, you guys. I'm looking at something. Anyways, you guys. I do wanna show this, because people are always talking about that. I don't talk about the police assist. I do talk about the bad ones. Okay. So they're saying it's something about this case that I never it always did something to me to talk about this really because of just how
And
bad
still
they
can't
made
stop
the
thinking about.
law enforcement officers
Breaking
look.
news first at 10. A jury has been selected in the state trial of 3 former Memphis police officers accused in the beating death of Tyree Nichols. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst. The jurors were selected in Chattanooga, hoping to find an impartial jury, people who haven't been inundated with the facts of the case. Former officers Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith, along with their attorneys, were in the courtroom for jury selection. That trial will take place in Shelby County. 6 men and 10 women were seated. There are 12 jurors and 4 alternates. That trial is expected to take 2 to 3 weeks. WRAG's April Thompson will be in the courtroom beginning Monday morning and will bring us gavel-to-gavel coverage.
They said
These
she
cases
worked
will
in
keep you up at night.
Ridgecrest Apartments. They said she worked in Ridgecrest Apartments. Hey, Miss Tyranny. They said she worked in the Ridgecrest Apartments. Right. You just every now and again you get a few bad apples in a bunch, And they was like that before they came on the police department. Some people, I would have to say like some of those officers, the bad ones, when they get on the police department, they come on with the wrong intentions. Okay. I told y'all a long time ago, the bad ones, what happens is when they come on mistreating folks, they go become a police officer because when they was going in high school, they was all through school, they was bullied, they got their ass tore up cat raggedy, and so they go and become a police officer to try and be a bully, okay, and to get a woman. Because for some reason, these damn empty head girls think these police officers, especially the patrolmen. And shout out to the patrolmen. They on the front line. They do a lot of them do a good job. Okay, I'm not saying anything about the patrolmen, but I know the chain of command. Okay, I know the chain of command. Okay, and a patrolman probably can, cut you a break. They can decide not to give you a ticket, but once they write it, they can't take it back. They have to start going up the rank, okay, to even think about taking that ticket back. So, anyways, shout out to the patrolman though. But that's why anyways, I'm gonna move on from that. Yeah, y'all, let's see how many likes we got, okay? Okay, y'all, we need 25 more likes. Okay, if you haven't supported the channel, please do support the channel. Okay, you can support the channel via he says more bad criminals than bad police officers. I agree. That is more bad criminals. And hopefully listen, in order for the crime to stop, it's like a community effort. It's gonna take the community to help to stop these crimes. I'm trying to understand, is it that parents are afraid of are parents afraid of their children now? I want some of the men to come up to talk about what's going on. Like, what is going on within our community? I want somebody that is a father to talk about what's going on. Why is it that our young boys are so out of control? We hear the women talk about it all the time, but I need for a man that is a father to talk about it. Okay, send you the link. Okay. I want to chime in on this Memphis subject. Okay. They're not afraid of not afraid. They furnish with their kids. Daryl Brown, you want to Daryl Brown. I said Daryl Brown. I'm really sounding Memphis now. Daryl. You know how we do it in Memphis, Daryl. Lazy tongue, Daryl. I be forgetting. I get comfortable with y'all. I be forgetting talking like I be talking with my friends and stuff. Daryl. I remember saying, listen, y'all, I saw Daryl in a Mexican restaurant that I be liking to go to. And when I walked, it's funny because when I walked in, I saw him turn around. He was sitting with a group of other people. So I went and I sat off by myself. So Daryl said, so they were getting ready to go. I saw him when he stood up and he turned around. I ain't have my mask because normally I wear a mask. It'd be a lot of Hispanics in that restaurant. Yeah, it'd be a lot of Hispanics in that restaurant. So I thought I was safe because normally I'd be trying to keep my mask and stuff on. So Daryl walk up to me and was like, Tamara. Because I sure what everybody that think they recognize me when they hear my voice, I guess I got a distinctive voice. They go, I thought that was you. When I heard your voice, I knew it was you. So Daryl said, Tamara. I turned around. I said, how you know me? Because I almost said I ain't known the Tamara. I looked at him. I said, I said, no. I said, where I know you from? I love that Mexican restaurant. I said, where I know you from? He said, I be looking at your show. I'm one of your subscribers. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, he said, I'm one of your subscribers. I said, Lord have mercy. He was real nice. He said that and he walked on out the door. Y'all we went on Mr. Parker. I want to hear from these men, the fathers. What is going on? Okay. Oh, you was on lunch break? Okay. Yeah, I saw you sitting at the table. Because when I walked in, when I walked in that door, the only reason why I knew, because I think he was sitting there with some more Hispanics or something. But when I walked in, you looked up and turned around. I was like, I don't know. My mom told me that man act like he know me. If not your voice, then most definitely your laugh. Yeah, I know that's right. I know my mom always be talking about that old wild, crazy hyena laugh you got. And then when I get real tickled, I be laughing so loud. Just country. It's another guy that be on here that works at Cash Saver. Is one of my favorite stores. I likes to go into hold on, Mr. Parker. I likes to go into Cash Saver to get those delicious red apples because they're really good. And I be going in there to look for, like, sometimes they might have like cheap roasts in there. So I was in line, right? And I had my mask on. So it got hot. So I pulled my mask down, and the cashier, the guy, I think he's a manager there. And so I saw him staring at me in line. So when I got up there, he asked me something, and he said, I wanted to hear your voice. He said, you Tamara. I said, how you know that? He said, I be looking at your show. He said, I thought that was you. Then when I heard your voice, I knew it was you. What's going on, Mr. Parker?
What's up, TT? How you?
I'm good. You want to weigh in on what is going on? Why are our young men? I know you said you have sons. Why are our young men out of control?
Who raised my sons, TT, that you know of?
Well, I remember you saying that you raised them.
Oh, okay. So who didn't raise them?
I guess that would mean their mother didn't raise them.
Their mama didn't raise them. A woman can't do a man's job. A man can't do a woman's job. Now, either a mother or a father can do their best, their absolute best, to raise a child of the opposite sex from them, but it ain't the same.
Mm-hmm.
If your daughter's father had raised them, they might not be who they are today. You talk very highly and very glowingly of your daughters. Well, part of that you have to pat yourself on the back for. You raised them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had sons and you put the same effort towards raising your sons, I mean, I'm just being honest, it's hit or miss. It's 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing is, like, when it came to me raising my boys, because I had them from 7, 6, and 5 all the way up to adulthood on my own. And the thing about raising my boys was, well, I say 7, 6, and 5. My daughter was 6. But my 7-year-old and 5-year-old, I raised them to adulthood. And me being a man, I once was a young boy. So I was a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old. I was a preteen. I was a teenager. I was a young adult. So anything that they tried to do as far as getting over, I recognized it before it happened. I was always 2 steps ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
You typically can't say the same thing for a mother when it comes to her sons. Furthermore, a lot, not all, a lot of mothers put their sons on a pedestal too fast and too high. They either do one or the other. If a single mother is raising boys or a boy, she typically does either one of 2 things. She either coddles the boy way too much, or she sees her son's father in him and takes it out on him. Either way, that's detrimental to the boy. That's detrimental to his growth. That's just detrimental to his maturity.
Mm-hmm.
So you that way you either have young men out here who had to be the man of the house too fast, and they don't necessarily know how to move outside, or you had young men who didn't have any discipline because they was coddled, and they stepped off the porch at an early age, and now the streets got them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily the mother's fault. I mean, me personally, if you want to place blame, you can place blame anywhere. You could say, well, the mother should have kept her legs closed until she knew what type of nigga she was fucking with. Okay. But you could also say the nigga should have been stepped up when he knew he had a child and been a father and been active. Because it ain't always about money when it comes to most mothers. They would prefer the time than the money. So there's blame that can go around, but the bottom line is that, you know, fathers have to be prevalent in a child's life, especially a boy.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a mutual respect. A father can't be his son's friend. There has to be a level of fear to go along with that respect. My sons honestly didn't get into any type of trouble until they were adults. But by the time they were adults, whatever trouble they got into, they knew how to move because I taught them well. So, I mean, we can go all the way back to the 70s, the 60s. We could talk about the systemic racism that kept the fathers out of the house. We could do all of that for days and days and days. The bottom line is that a mother can't raise a son to be a man better than a father can.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, why aren't more fathers in the household?
From a modern standpoint, it's more acceptable to be a baby mama. It's more acceptable to be a baby daddy. Oh, that's my baby mama. Why that's not your girlfriend? Why that's not your fiance? Why that's not your wife? I mean, these younger adults don't think about stuff like that when they fucking. They just want to get that nut off. They just want that feeling. And when somebody mess around and get pregnant, then you know, oh, I wasn't in it for that. Well, but that's the results of fucking. That's the results of having sex. Somebody might get pregnant. You get pregnant, you gotta own up to your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I think that from a standpoint of my generation or our generation, those sons are, you know, mid-20s to early 30s. Why they wasn't in the house? It was a lot of deadbeat dads came out of Generation X. A lot of them. So you're seeing the product of that now. Justin Johnson's father, who is his father? I've never heard a thing about his parents, period, but definitely not his dad. Same with Cornelia Smith. Same with Teasy. Same with, I ain't never heard nothing about Jook and Gotti's dad. I don't hear about their mom. I mean, the list goes on and on. A lot of these dudes that are either dead or in jail or got RICOs coming to them or whatever the case may be. So-called serial killers like King Von. A lot of these dudes, you don't ever hear nothing said about their dads. The only one who you hear something said about their dad is Lil Durk. And guess what? Lil Durk dad is Big Durk. And Big Durk was in jail and was in prison for most of Lil Durk's youth. And they two peas in a pod. So again, if the dad is a deadbeat or the dad ain't allowed to be around or if the dad was already passed away or whatever the scenario is to where the mother was the only one raising that boy probably jumped off the porch early.
Mm-hmm.
Now We can't change the past. Only thing we can do is try to direct the future. So platforms like yours, platforms like Kevin Samuels and all of his the branches off of his tree, those type of platforms are helping because it's teaching our 18, 19, 20-year-old boys, some of them that wasn't already lost, already too far gone, it's teaching them that, hey, practice some dick discipline. If you do get a girl pregnant, raise your child. Whether it's a boy or a girl, raise your child. Do something different than what you was taught.
Mm-hmm.
So, we may see in 10, 15 years, when my oldest grandson is 6, in 10 years, we may start seeing a difference as far as the youth that's on the streets at, 10, 12, 15 years from now. But right now, we just gotta suffer through what our generation did to our children. It is what it is. It ain't really much we can do about it now, except for just keep continuing to speak on it and hopefully be able to reach those that can still be reached.
What's up, godmother? Well, yeah, that's true. I agree.
One thing you said, oh no. Actually, it was Exposing the Truth said it, I think, in the chat. There are way more bad criminals than there are bad police. And I'm gonna tell you that's 1,000% right. And that's almost a double entendre, because what I think, and I could be wrong, and this Exposing the Truth is still in the chat, you can correct me, but what I think he meant by saying there are way more bad criminals than bad police, what I think he meant by that is that in our generation, you talk about it all the time. The men that you grew up around, the uncles, the family members, whatever, they might have been criminals, but they weren't bad at being a criminal. It's like the criminals out here now haven't adjusted to technology. They haven't adjusted to the education that the police force has. So they taking their phones on murder missions. They taking their phones and using their phones when they breaking into folk houses. Like, you can't do that now. Your phone is a computer chip. And it's damn near in your arm. It's damn near in your body. So they can find you. They not adjusting. Now, the double entendre part to that is that you take the bad out from criminals, and there's still way more criminals than there are bad police. Because when we think of crime, a lot of times we think of drugs, we think of violence. Scamming is a crime too. Hacking is a crime. Trolling and communicating threats is a crime. And people doing that shit on YouTube every day. You are a prime example of a victim of what they call a victimless crime. I don't think those are victimless crimes. So there is an influx of terrible criminals out there, and these fools get caught all day, every day. So that shit just aesthetically, it looks terrible. It looks like black folks still ain't learning. Black folks don't do nothing but commit crime.
Mm-hmm.
Now the flip side to that is, I'm sure there are a lot of jobs in Memphis. I'm sure there are a lot of jobs in every major metropolitan city. But also too, sometimes when you get something on your jacket, on your police record, or sometimes your age, or sometimes your lack of education, lack of being able to speak fluently to a white man sitting across from you in an interview, a lot of that hinders some folks from getting jobs. Now, that's not to say that there ain't a bunch of lazy folk out there that don't want to work. Of course there are. But I think that the unemployment rate that they give us as far as data is skewed. Because I think a lot of people want to work and can't find work, can't get work. When they get a job, when they see an opportunity, they go after it and they get a door slammed in their face, literally and figuratively. So I think a lot of things factor into why our community looks how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad, but it just means we got a lot of work to do. Just means we got a lot of work to do. You know, when I think about YouTube, for example, platforms like yours, this live right now should have 10,000 people in it. And this is no knock on Corey Holcomb, because I watch Corey Holcomb, but his live on Tuesday nights, where he come on pretty much anytime he want to. So he might come on at 8 o'clock this Tuesday. Next Tuesday, he might not come on till 9:30. Well, it's 12:30 in Charlotte, and people got to work the next morning. He still be having 8 to 10,000 people in his live every Tuesday because he talking bullshit. He calling every man on earth a backdooria. He talking about every woman as if they ain't nothing but a jump off. He talking bullshit every Tuesday night. But you get on here and you talk things to uplift. You talk things about your community, about injustices, and 150 people watching the live, and got a big half of them to hit the like button. That's just a microcosm of society. That's just a microcosm of society. People don't want to hear what's good. People don't want to hear what the truth is. They want to be entertained. And that in itself is another thing that's wrong with our community.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the answer is. I see the problems.
Or spending
I'm
too much time trying to sabotage somebody else.
spending too much time trying to sabotage somebody else. You know, I get in the chat, whether it's this chat, platinum, whatever, it don't matter. I get in the chat and I try to antagonize Fee. I do that for a purpose, because eventually her shady ways is not going to allow her to just let me keep talking about her and she just sit there and be quiet and take it. She eventually going to say something that's going to expose herself. She could be listening right now. But I guarantee you, at some point in time, whether she jump in the chat or whether she jump on the live, she gonna say, "Fuck you, Mr. Parker. Fuck you, Tamara. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing." Well, how you know who? How you know we was talking about you? Who told you? Like, unless you was there. Like, come on, man. Crabs in a barrel. That's been the best cliche to describe our culture and our community for 50 years. Crabs in a barrel. That's what we've always done as a community until we can get out of that mindset, at least to where the majority of us don't think like that. And then we take it to the next level and actually help each other and support each other when we're positive, then it's just gonna be what it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
A white boy from England like Trap Lord Ross is going to be able to make millions of dollars talking about shit that goes on in our community. He's going to be able to do that as long as we continue to allow shit like that. And we allow shit like that because of crabs in a barrel.
Crabs in a barrel. You have YouTubers that get on here. They go on places like Fiverr. They have other YouTubers that have gotten with hackers, and they hire them to actually sabotage another YouTuber's channel, to mess with their live streams, to mess with their notifications. This is the type of stuff that they do, all because you may have better speaking points, or they feel like they have control over your destiny. You know what I'm talking about? This is the type of stuff they put their money. They already stealing and robbing and writing bad checks and stealing identities and getting ready to go do some fair time for giving Hispanics and stuff, selling people Social Security numbers to Hispanics. This is what they do, right? They've learned how to hack into StreamYard, but our job is to make sure we put the proper people in place to know to be able to like sue these like YouTube, because it's a lot of they have people that were, I forgot what they're called, because I've tapped into one of the females. She's an Asian that they use. She actually works for YouTube. Some of these YouTubers use her. That's how they're able to get into your emails. They pay money to try and stop another Black person, and they ass is still living in the fucking projects at the ghetto. They still robbing and stealing, and they still haven't gotten any further. But this is the type of energy. This is why people like Vlad can be culture vultures. They, as long as it's not another Black person, they ain't got no issues with it. Okay, but if they see another Black person have the potential to go further, they crabs in a barrel ass. They already come up out the sewer. They crabs in a barrel ass. Instead of putting all that energy into trying to make themselves better, they take their little pennies and dimes that they done wrote bad checks in other folks' names and stolen identities and gotten other folks' money. They take that money to try and stop another person. This is how bad and messed up our community is.
Now let me ask you a question. Let me think of somebody that you rock with. Okay, Stan G. Let's say Stan G reached out to you and said, Tamara, I want to do a collaboration with you, a live or whatever. How much you'll charge me for that? What would be your reply?
I don't think I would charge him. I wouldn't charge him.
Okay.
If he wanted to come on and do like come up on my panel and like do like even if he says, like every Friday or something like that, let's do like a Memphis situation. Of course, I know they would never, because a lot of, even though I don't think they have issues with me, quite a few of them kind of affiliate me with being with the police, right? So these are street drives. But even if they said that it has some Memphis vloggers, I would go, I ain't got no issues with that. Why would I charge them?
Okay. What if before you knew of her and her antics, what if Fee had reached out to you and asked that? Would you have charged her?
I wouldn't have charged her. No.
So that's my point. So what they spend, not Stan G, obviously, but what these lames spend on having hackers come in and fuck with other YouTubers such as yourself, they could have potentially spent that on a collaboration. And everybody would have went up. Their numbers would have increased organically, and so would yours.
Right.
There's more than enough YouTube money to go around.
Yeah.
Like, there's more than enough. I don't make no money off of YouTube either. But not once have I talked about another fashion or style blogger on my channel in a negative light. If anything, I big one up. And I may not think that they he is or she is the most fashionable person in the world. But if I see them doing something positive, I'm gonna big them up. And vice versa. It doesn't need to be what it didn't need to be what it turned into. That same mindset that said I'm gonna pay some hackers to go over there and fuck with her live could have said I'm gonna reach out to her and see if I can pay her to collab. And it would have been the same money spent, only this time you ain't looking at potential problems because you fucking with somebody who will call the police on your ass. Just, it's just common sense to me, but common sense ain't common. We know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But as far as your question, I think we're at a point right now that we just have to. It's just a waiting game because your 15, 16-year-old boys that jumped off the porch a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, all the way up to your mid to late 20-year-old young men. If they already off the porch, for lack of a better word, it's damn near over with for them. It's the 8-year-olds we have to make an impression on. It's the 10-year-olds, it's the 12-year-olds. And we just kind of have to continue to doing what we do to reach them so that they realize that they do have choices and they do have options. And they're not the mistake that they don't have to pay for the mistakes that their mother and or father made. So it's just a matter of waiting and see. We'll see the results of that in 10 to 12 years. If we have another generation of straight drops in 10 to 12 years, then we know we failed. And then it's going to be on our kids and grandkids to carry on the fight. But this endless cycle of ignorance and violence, unnecessary violence. I mean, it's been around for a long time, and it's getting worse because now you got people chasing clout. The OGs that raised me, the OGs that were around when you was a teenage girl, they wasn't looking for notoriety on the internet. I mean, these niggas is killing somebody and talking about it on Twitter and Instagram before the police even get on the scene. Well, just put the bracelets on yourself is what you might well just do. Put yourself in handcuffs and take yourself down to the police station. Because between CCTV and your cell phone, it's over with if that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we'll see. That's all I think. That's the only thing we can do is just we'll see. We'll see how it goes. When I'm in my 60s, if we still in the same place, talking about it on Real Talk with Noodles, then we know it didn't. We failed.
Right. Because I mean, Dr. King did the "I Have a Dream" speech, but they didn't have these issues when he was talking about "I Have a Dream." They weren't dealing with black on black crime. They was dealing with white on black crime.
That's true. I mean, there was still black on black crime, but it was more based on getting money. It was more based on getting money back then. You had black people robbing each other. You had black people breaking in each other's houses. You had black people trying to scam each other, but you didn't have black people killing each other over a street corner. You didn't have black people killing each other over something somebody said. It wasn't that type of party. But now, these young men, because they don't know how to walk away, because they wasn't raised right, you can't tell another black man he's soft or he lame or he pussy, and he want to, let's meet at the park and throw hands. No, he trying to come through your neighborhood and shoot your grandma's house up. That's crazy to me.
And then sit back on TV, sit back and wait for the news to come on. So he said, "Yeah, man, that's my work." Like I said, that's got to be a mental illness. It's not normal.
Nope, it's not. It's not. But that's where we are. That's exactly where we are.
That's it.
Yeah. But all right, though, T, it was great talking to you per usual.
Well, I appreciate you coming up.
No problem.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mr. Parker for coming up. I wanted to hear from a male's perspective on what is going on, why these African American young men are not, why they're acting out. And I was thinking as Mr. Parker was talking. Now, Mr. Parker raised his boys up. He was a single father. But it's sad to say quite a few men don't know the answers because they're not in their sons' lives. And hey, people have excuses. The mother is difficult. Well, there are things in place for a difficult mother. Because you start putting things in place, your children should be top priority to handle her. Because I'm not saying that all women are easy to get along with. If she's hurt, some women don't know how to deal with their hurt. They are selfish. They don't put the child first. They can't get past that the man left them pregnant or left them for another woman. They cannot put their feelings aside so that the man can at least try to be a good father to the child. So in that case, then the man needs to move a step further to do whatever is necessary to subdue that. Okay, if she's causing him any type of problems, so that he can be in the child's life. And I'm not talking about every now and again he's stopping through. Every now and again that's a problem. I'm talking about being a constant figure in your child's life, because you can't be a part-time parent. You have to be a full-time parent, rather you are in the house or not, continuously validating your children. Okay. It's too much electronic stuff now. Okay. You could call your child, you can buy your child a phone, you can FaceTime them, you can have conversations with your child, right? Continuously validating your children. So for me, like I said, I know that they're difficult people, but at the same time, it's some stuff in place for that, because the child is the most important thing. Okay. Yeah, they got some new movies on my channel. Y'all know I be loving to look at them CIA documentaries and stuff. Y'all be learning a lot from them, okay? Because they was talking about this stuff back in the 90s. I have such a fascination with looking at those CIA operatives and what they had going on back then, and then comparing it to a lot of the stuff that I see now. I have such a fascination with it. Anyways, you guys, listen. I appreciate. I guess Daryl didn't want to come up. He didn't come back in the live. But listen, I appreciate you all tuning in this morning. I'm gonna get off of here because I need to call Vanessa back. I was talking to Vanessa. Call me. I gotta call her back. Vanessa, is Vanessa still in here? Okay, but I appreciate you all tuning in as always. Okay. I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't hit the like button, please do hit the like button. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate you all so much. Okay. I'm going to try to come on again tonight, but I am getting ready to do a video and upload it because there's something that went on in Memphis that I do want to talk about. Okay. But I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you like to support the channel, you can definitely support the channel via Cash App.